The F1 Esports Pro Series returns for its third season this week, and it will see Brendan Lee defend his title for the second time from the quickest guys on F1 2019, including Veloce drivers Daniel Bresnay and Sally Soltunk, who drive for Alfa Romeo Racing, and also Alec van der Waal, who joined McLaren Shadow in the Pro Draft. But how does the Pro Series work, where can I watch it, and what makes it so exciting? Well, here at Veloce we have answered all of your questions and more ahead of the biggest season yet. Why must you watch this year's championship? This season will be the biggest so far for two reasons. Firstly, this will be the first time since the official teams came into the series last year that we have a full grid of 20 drivers. This is because after sitting on the sidelines in 2018, Scuderia Ferrari Driver Academy joined the other 9 Formula 1 teams in the battle for the 2019 Constructors title. Fans of the series will finally get to see their favourite bright red Italian car take to the virtual stage, whilst also eagerly awaiting to see what their full Italian lineup of David Tonizza, Amos Lorito and Gianfranco Giglioli can do. The pressure will be on their drivers from the start, with a team so rich in racing history that anything short of challenging for the title will be a disappointment. However, they do have the most passionate and loyal fans in the sport, so it will be with no doubt that the support from the Tifosi will get them charged and ready to go ahead of the first event. Okay, so Ferrari have arrived, but what else has stepped up this season? The prize pool this year is $500,000, which will be the biggest yet and over double what it was last year, with the winning team claiming $200,000. This is huge news for the series, as it shows that Formula 1 are starting to see the gains that esports has in expanding its brand. We are still a long way off the games like Fortnite, Call of Duty and League of Legends, but it is certainly a step in the right direction, especially when you consider this will only be its third year. Will Brendan Lee run away with this year's championship? The only answer I can really give to this question is that I honestly don't know, but it is highly unlikely. Last year, Brendan was one of the only drivers on the grid who was doing esports full time. Whilst Brendan was putting in 14 hours a day of practice, other drivers were stuck at work or even school. And in a world where perfection is key, every extra minute of practice you have is vital, so expect the competition to be a lot tighter this year. Another reason why you might see the field a lot closer this year is because the series will take place on the new F1 2019 game. And whilst you may think that the game is basically the same as 2018, it is really not. All of the drivers who took part last year will not only need to adapt to the new handling features on this game, but also work out the quickest setups for each track and try to give them any advantage possible over their rivals. The game will also follow the new rules for 2019, including the addition of an extra point for fastest lap. And unlike in real F1, all the cars are equal and the pack is usually within a second of each other, so it'll be very interesting to see whether any strategy will take place to gain that extra point. Unfortunately, we have no answers there, so you will just have to wait and see. What can we expect from the first event? The best thing about the first event of the series is that nobody knows what is going to happen. We don't know who will be quickest, we don't even know who will be driving each race. What we do know, however, are the tracks. The first race will be at Bahrain, a track that was missing from last year's calendar, but one that has thrown up many battles in the past, including that amazing fight between championship contenders Hamilton and Rosberg back in 2014. No doubt we will see lots of wheel-to-wheel action at a circuit which has 4 straights long enough to make moves on and corners that allow drivers to go side by side. We are certainly hoping that the battle in the desert will make for a very heated season opener. The second race of Event 1 will take place around the Shanghai International Circuit in China, a track in which last year hosted the second round of the season and saw Brendan Lee fight back from 5th on the grid to take back-to-back race wins. With a wide circuit and that mile-long back straight, overtaking around here is certainly possible. The final race of Event 1 will be hosted by Baku, one of the newer races on the calendar, but it has already thrown up some classics. And you can't forget last year's F1 Esports race around here when Frederick Rasmussen overtook Brendan Lee for the win on the final straight, winning by what has to be the smallest margin so far in the series history. Not only does Baku have long straights for overtaking, but lots of tight and twisty segments, which will test the driver's concentration and bravery. The big moves this season. Like in any sport, transfers are inevitable in the off-season, with teams trying to improve their squad from last year and also cutting ties with the players who underperformed in 2018. F1 Esports is no different here, and we have seen lots of changes from the teams going into 2019, with only 4 of the 10 teams keeping the same lineup before the Pro Draft. The biggest move of the season has to be last year's runner-up Daniel Beresne, who has left Constructors Champions Mercedes to join the highly anticipated Alfa Romeo racing team, which includes race winner Sally Soltonk, E-Rock and Le Mans winner James Baldwin as a test driver, with Kimi Larson joining the team in the Pro Draft. This left Mercedes without their consistent number 2 driver, but instead of looking elsewhere, they promoted their 2018 test driver Patrick Kreutsch, with Daniel Shields joining them in the Pro Draft. Renault are the only team to have a completely new lineup compared to last year, and it is to no surprise as the team finished bottom of the standings in 2018. Gone is James Doherty, Kimi Larson and Sven Zerner, and in comes ex-F4 and Formula Renault driver Jarno Opmeer. He will be joined by experienced F1 League racers Cedric Fomm and Simon Viegang as they try to challenge for better race results. Where can I watch it? Unfortunately, us the viewers can only watch the live events, which is streamed between 7 and 9 PM BST. However, instead of only being available on the F1's official Facebook page this year, it will also be streamed on YouTube and Twitch after the high demand for it last season. You may also be able to watch on your TV as Sky UK and Ziggo Sport are showing it live, but please check your local TV listings to see if this is available in your country. Otherwise, check out the official Formula 1 YouTube and Twitch to catch all the action. I hope we have covered all of your key questions ahead of the F1 Esports Pro Series, but if you do have any that we haven't touched upon, then don't hesitate to leave them down in the comment section below and we will reply to them as soon as we can. But from all of us here at Veloce, we hope you enjoy the first event and we will see you in the next video. As far as assists go, it's safe to say traction control is the one that we all turn off last. And even then, some of the top pro esports drivers who you'd expect to have mastered no assist driving by now get caught out from time to time. It's the assist that you can't really forget about.